There may be someone out there who's spending Christmas Day alone and they may feel like shit about it. I didn't expect to talk about this week. I thought I'd do a really cute video about Christmas as a single person. And it just felt really vanilla, and to be honest, it kind of felt like bullshit. Hey everyone, Cheryl here. Welcome back to my YouTube machine. This week I wanted to talk about how to spend a Christmas alone without feeling like shit, which is something that I didn't expect to talk about this week. I thought I'd do a really cute video about navigating Christmas as a single person, or navigating Christmas with needs, boundaries, family, what have you. And it just felt really vanilla, and to be honest, it kind of felt like bullshit. It felt like bullshit because something bigger is at play, and I really haven't seen anyone else talk about this, and my hope is that by sharing some of what I've learned, this will really help you. I know about 10 years ago, when I was first in Canada, would have really loved to see a message like this. It would have really helped me and uplifted me. I thought there may be someone out there who's spending Christmas Day alone and they may feel like shit about it. And the thing is, when we think about spending Christmas alone, we often think about older people. We think about seniors, we think about people that have, lost their partner. We think of like quite vulnerable members of society, and that's a good thing. What I learned when I used to live in Canada, I was in Vancouver, is that the loneliest population is actually young professionals, particularly in a big city. I'm sure it's the case in Bristol too. There's people who have moved from a different city, either in the UK or in Europe or somewhere else in the world, and they either can't get back home for Christmas, or it's not feasible, or travel's really far or really expensive, and you might just make the decision to just be on your own at Christmas. And if you have some relationship stuff to work out, it can really bring up a lot of that, and it can feel completely like shit. So I thought I would address that today. Out of the past, well, hang on, what year is it now? 2019. So this has been kind of a 10-year journey for me, and that feels like quite a poignant thing to describe to you, new decade and all that jazz. So out of the last 10 years, I've spent about 3 Christmas days on my own. The first one, maybe 3 or 4 actually, let me think. I forget, somewhere around that. And the first one really, really upset me. Like, I was so upset about it, I could barely speak. I think it might have been my first Christmas in Canada, or my second, whichever one it was. I was so upset about it when people asked what I was doing for Christmas. Like, I could feel my voice like catching, like I would choke up. It would almost make me cry. And what's really interesting is this year, I've just moved to Bristol, and I've actually decided to spend Christmas Day on my own. And not only am I not upset, I'm actually really, really excited about it, because I'm in this beautiful apartment in the city centre for 2 weeks, looking after a kitten and being paid for it as well, which is kind of the dream. The kitten is called Felicity, and she may make an appearance. She's half ragdoll, half Siamese, and very, very cute. So I really feel like I'm winning. I did go up to the Lake District, which is in the north of England, to see my family earlier on in December. I had about 10 days with them, and I had like an early Christmas there. So I kind of feel like I've got the best of both worlds. But it's been a very conscious choice to spend Christmas Day on my own, and I'm really quite looking forward to the time alone, to be honest, because I've been spending a lot of time with other people, and I feel like it's going to be an introvert's dream. Like I said though, that wasn't always the case. I've gone from it being so upsetting I could barely speak to it actually being a really, really exciting prospect for me. This bit of hair is really annoying me. I don't know what's going on here. If you are spending Christmas Day on your own, there's a couple of things I want you to know. Because if you are spending Christmas Day on your own, it means that you're single, more than likely. Because if you had a partner, you'd more than likely be with them, unless there's some mitigating circumstances with distance, or they could be away, or whatever the case is. Usually it means you're single, so it can bring up a lot of that too. So the first thing I want you to know, numero uno, oh God, I'm here with the foreign numbers again. Number 1 thing you need to know is it doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't mean you're less worthy. It doesn't mean you're less lovable. It doesn't mean you're fucked up. It doesn't mean you've failed. It doesn't mean anything about you. It's just a circumstance. And in that circumstance, if things are coming up, if it's starting to feel really upsetting, that's an opportunity to look at it. It's an opportunity to look at it, right? It's just a chance to have a look at the things that feel really painful and work through it, journal through it, work with a coach or a counsellor, take a course, read a book, listen to a podcast, really start digging deep into the feelings. And as I'm talking about this, I'm tapping into how I used to feel, and it's I'm sure a lot of you feel this as you're watching this. Those of you that are spending Christmas on your own, it's there's like this wave of emotion, and it's quite overwhelming and quite consuming. So that's the first thing, is to know that it doesn't mean anything about you. The second thing is to make it a day to remember, a day that you're going to really enjoy and really taking advantage of the fact that it is just you. So a lot of Christmases, quite obviously, we have to put up with other people's bullshit, right? We tend to have to do what other people want to do. There's like a structure to the day. We may or may not be down for that structure. So this is a really an opportunity for you to create the Christmas day that you want. And maybe that's different because you're on your own, but make this a day that you're going to really enjoy. Like, it might not be the most ideal situation, but try and make the best of a bad scenario ultimately. And look, I'm not going to bullshit you and be like, oh yeah, it's a great situation. It might not be, right? It might not be. It's not ideal. And hey, next year is going to be different. But make it a day that you can really enjoy. It may or may not be really Christmassy or really festive, but you know, run yourself a bath, paint your nails, like watch a movie that's going to lift you up and not one that's going to make you cry. You know, watch something that's really lovely, read a book, get a pet. If you haven't got a pet, then did you know this is peak time for pet sitters? So not only can you have a pet, you can also earn cash money at the same time. Ding, 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 everyone's a winner. So go on a pet sitting website or a pet sitting app. Hi, speaking of pets, she looks like she's going to pounce me. Come on, come and see the peepers. She's so cute. I know it looks to you like I'm just speaking to myself, but here she is. Hellos. Oh, baby girl. Oh, hi, come and see the peepers. Say hi. That's going to be our thumbnail. That's going to be our thumbnail. Sorry, I'm talking in kitten speak. Incidentally, anyone that speaks to animals in a normal voice, what kind of psychopath does that? Okay, she's gorgeous. So it might not be the most ideal day, but do things that are going to fill you up, lift you up, and have you going back to work in January feeling like you don't hate your life, right? Do things that are really going to nourish you. It might look like getting in healthy food. It may or may not be getting in Christmassy food, because that might be a bit depressing, right? Cooking a Christmas meal for one, not a great idea. What food do you love that you don't often have? Get that in, have a good old feast. Do things that are going to make you feel good. So that's the second point, is make it your day. That doesn't necessarily mean it has to be super festive, but make it a day for you. And the third and final point is know that it won't be this way forever. Know that it won't be this way forever, and therefore take advantage of having this time for yourself. In 10 years time, you know, you're going to be having no doubt a family or getting married or whatever the case is. And so you're going to look back and be like, remember when I had that time to myself? Oh, how I long for those days. So take advantage of it now. Know that it's not forever. It's really not. It's just a moment in time, and it's something that, you know, you'll learn from it and you'll grow from it, and you'll look back and be like, wow, I remember that time when I did that, and it took a lot of strength and courage, and I'm proud of myself. So one, it doesn't mean anything about you. It's not a reflection of your worth or your brilliance at all. It's just a circumstance, and it might have a lot to do with travel and logistics and flight tickets, all kinds of shit. It's got nothing to do with how amazing and how lovable you are. So that's number one. Number two is make it your day. Do something really special that you're really gonna enjoy. Don't do things that make you feel like shit. If cooking a Christmas dinner for one feels like shit, if watching Christmas movies feels like shit, don't do it. Do things that are gonna make you feel good, like get a kitten, for example. I mean, don't get a kitten for Christmas, that's irresponsible, that's not what I meant. What I mean is, if there's someone that needs a pet looking after, say, hey, I'll have your cat or your dog or your puppy or your kitten over for Christmas. And they, excuse me, have someone to look after their beloved furry child, and then you have a little fur baby. Everyone's a winner, right? And the third thing, of course, is know that it's not forever. It's not forever. There's going to be times when you spend a Christmas day with loads and loads of people, your family, all of that, your family that you've created, and you long for those days when you had Christmas to yourself. So I think that's everything. I hope that really helped you. I do hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and know that it is whatever you make it. I have a very unpopular opinion that Christmas is a social construct anyway. I think it is blown way out of proportion. It should be about what you want it to be. You don't have to do what everyone else does. You can do whatever you want. And if you happen to be on your own this Christmas, I do hope you make the most of it and you have a really nourishing day. Sending you lots of love, and I will see you next time.